Thanks for joining us on the program Beyond 100 Days. I am Precious Amayu. Now, always remember you can join the conversation on X using a handle at TVC News NG. You can also use the hashtag Beyond 100 Days. All right, let's get into the big stories today. Human rights lawyer Dele Farotimi may be spending his Christmas in prison custody. His case has been adjourned till the 20th December 2024. He was earlier today arraigned before a magistrate court in Ado-Ekiti, where he's facing a 16-count charge at the magistrate court for alleged defamation of senior advocate of Nigeria, Afe Babalola. He arrived at the court premises around 9:49 a.m., accompanied by operatives of the Rapid Response Squad of the Nigeria Police Force and the Nigeria Correctional Center. On Monday, a high court sitting in Ado-Ekiti had granted him bail to the tune of 50 million naira. We have details in this report.
Mr. Dele Farotimi arrives the magistrate court in Ado-Ekiti.
Nigerians are with you. Nigerians are with you.
The court was filled to the brim, and others who can't find space inside the courtroom took shelter outside the premises.
This matter is of public interest.
They are here to witness the case between Afe Babalola and Dele Farotimi. The court is to hear the bail application brought by the defendant's counsel.
The bail application was argued and is adjourned for unity 28th of December. That is all that transpired today.
Supporters of Dele Farotimi and Afe Babalola were involved in a fierce verbal confrontation outside the court. They also shared their views in the ongoing litigation and warned against violence.
All the things that were written in the book by Mr. Dele Farotimi are the things that are playing out in this court. I've been here personally. I was here when another charge was served, again in the prison, and again and again and again. Nobody is above the law. If this is a civil case, why is it happening like this? Why is this happening? You are telling us that the government is under one man, which is the same man that is in question. Yes. And you're saying that the same book we are condemning now, and the things here are what is happening in this court. I listened to both parties, and it is not justifiable.
These boys, they wanted to make themselves hero of a cause that is in court already. But by saying they are going to destabilize the peace of this state, that was I have to shut him that he should stop that.
The legal battle has begun, and expectations are high that the outcome of these lawsuits will significantly contribute to Nigeria's legal jurisprudence, setting important precedents for future cases. Adiola Aderibigbe, TVC News, Ado-Ekiti.
Let's turn attention now to the nation's capital, where an FCT High Court sitting in Maitama has remanded former governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, in the Kuje Correctional Center till the 29th of January 2025. Justice Marianne Aneni struck out the bail application filed by the former governor and ruled that his application was premature and incompetent. She held that at the time the application was filed, Mr. Bello had not been arrested or detained. The former governor had filed an application for his bail on the 22nd of November, but was arrested on 26th and arraigned on the 27th of November. On the bail application of the second defendant, Umaru Richa, who is the Director General of Kogi State Government House, the court held that he had already been granted administrative bail by the EFCC, and it will be in the interest of justice to grant him bail. Although Mr. Richa had filed his bail application on the 25th and arraigned on the 27th November, the court held that in view of Section 158 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, he has fulfilled the conditions necessary for the court to exercise its discretion. He was therefore granted bail to the tune of 300 million naira, with two sureties each in like sum. All right, lawmakers from the 5 southeast states, the leadership of Ohanese Youth Movement, chairmen of political parties have supported the recomposition of the board of the Southeast Development Commission. President Tinubu, in a new list of nominees sent to the Senate for confirmation, replaced all the 3 executive directors initially nominated and named 2 additional executive directors. The lawmakers, youth group, and minority parties, in a joint statement, described the board recomposition as a welcome development, commending the president, the deputy speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, and other lawmakers who sponsored the bill and ensured it was signed into law. They asked the appointees to work assiduously to realize the goal of the commission. And that's where we'll be centering our conversation today. For more on this development in the Southeast Development Commission and the Southeast, let's speak to an APC chieftain, Dr. Ijoma Ariodiogu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, please.
Well, let me also state that Dr. Ijoma is the National Vice Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, the Southeast Zone. He joins us from Abuja studio. Let's begin with this development. We'll touch on a lot of issues in the Southeast Development Commission, as well as Anambra State. But let's begin with the SEDC. What do you make of the power struggles allegedly between Governor Hope Uzodimma and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu, over the leadership of the SEDC and then the intervention that the president has now made?
I can't hear you, please.
Let's just confirm again if you can hear me, Dr. Ijoma. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
All right, so I was asking you your reaction. We understand that there was allegedly a power tussle over those who will make the list of the SEDC executives, and that power tussle was between the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, and the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Benjamin Kalu. Now, the president has intervened and released new names added to that list. What do you make of that?
As a party leader, I don't see it as any power tussle. And there's a leadership in the Southeast. I'm the Southeast chairman of the All Progressives Party, of the All Progressives Congress. And when the issue of Southeast Development Commission was raised, the stakeholders from the zone, myself, the National Deputy Chairman, Shifime Enuku, the Governor of Imo State, the Governor of Ebonyi State, and all the ministers from the Southeast met. And names were collated based on performance. With reference to the act establishing the commission. And according to the act, the chairman, in alphabetical order, we have to come from Abia State, the MD from Anambra State, and then the other three executive directors from the other three states of the Southeast, and then the members. And that was followed. The Abia State produced the chairman in the person of Emeka Atuma. Anambra State produced the MD. And the other three states in the zone produced the other directors. And this was according to the act establishing the commission, and in consultation with all the stakeholders, not just Hope Uzodimma. All the stakeholders met, and the names were collated, and it was signed off in this document. All the two these two governors we have in the zone signed this list. The Deputy National Chairman signed the list. Myself signed the list, and all the ministers from the Southeast were involved in constituting this list. So I wonder how wider any consultation could be. So we heard, just like you have just said, that it was the Deputy Speaker that interfered with the list, and we wonder why. Now we have a list. I think the president was likely misled, because now we have a list where the chairman is from Abia. And why was the first chairman changed? There must be a reason, and there was no such consultation to us, no such reference to us. And a new chairman was nominated. And then from the same Abia State, the ED Finance was also nominated from Abia State. From the same Anambra State where the MD came from, the ED Corporate Services was also nominated. Then Imo State and Ebonyi State, that polled the highest vote, that give the zone the highest support in all the way in APC, were completely excluded. I don't know how that stands. I don't know how fair that could be.
So, Dr. Ijoma, if I may come in here, first of all, let me clarify that I never mentioned that a Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives interfered. I only mentioned that there was a power tussle between...
No, you said it was a power tussle.
Hold on. Dr. Ijoma, I said there was a power tussle.
From the governor of Imo State, there was no power tussle. Unless
all right, so I don't know whose list was
the Deputy Speaker
let me
and
just
the entire zone.
All right, so you are confirming for us now that the names that were approved were that, that were suggested by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives. But I wanted to ask you, because the mandate of this commission is to drive development in the Southeast. If all of this is already embroidered in some supremacy battle, even before it begins its actual work, how then will it deliver on its mandate?
Well, that question, I think you're in a better position to answer that question. Because the zone sat together, all the leaders sat together and drew up the first list and sent to the president in this nomination. Signed by the two governors, signed by the deputy national chairman, signed by myself. And in consultation with all the ministers from the Southeast zone, the 5 of them, and all stakeholders, we considered people that are supportive of our party, people that played role in the success the party is enjoying now in the zone. They all sat together and drew up the list. Then telling me that somebody sat down and put his chief of staff and put the chief of staff to the Senate president in another list. That leaves a lot of questions to be answered. Because if they want to float their chief of staff, they can do so without interfering with our zone. This is a big slap. It's a big slap on the zone. All the zonal leaders approved this list and published it and sent it to the president. We all signed. This is the list. I can submit it to you. So whatever list that came that now contains the chief of staff to the deputy speaker, chief of staff to the Senate president, that is unnecessary interference. And it is not healthy for our politics. It is not healthy for the commission.
If I may come in here, because this list, or the intervention by the president, as it were, is being commended by leadership of Ohanese Youth Movement. The chairman of political parties have also, supported this recomposition of the board of the Southeast Development Commission. There are also other political parties and lawmakers from the 5 Southeast states are also commending that list. And so doesn't that mean that something has been done right? And what are your expectations going forward? Because people expect that the Southeast Development Commission...
Right. The only thing that we cannot exclude Imo State and Ebonyi State from the commission. We cannot exclude them. That is not fair. That is not equitable. I have the act of the commission here, and the act said how it will be rotated. And it is not followed. That a state, we have the chairman and have one executive director. Another state, we have the MD and have another executive director. Then 2 states will not have any representation at all. That doesn't sound right to anybody. So if the people that are praising the people that are praising the
consult further,
the people you mentioned, they don't know
just before we
the
move
pains
on
that
to
was
other
taken.
issues. All right, Dr. Ejima, just before we
this is very important. This is very important because the people of the South
I want to ask
very
you,
bitter.
are you, just a minute, Dr. Ejima, just so you can hear my question.
Yes.
Are you looking to have further consultations with all sides, whether lawmakers at the House of Representatives or the Senate, just again having these meetings with everybody to ensure that, what you said, Imo and Ebonyi were not part of that list, to ensure that you get, those names on that list?
Well, we have written to the Senate through the clerk. We have written to the House of Representatives, but we hope it is given adequate attention. We've also written to the president to reconsider the list because I know he was not properly guided. If he is guided, the president, I know, will not constitute a list and exclude Imo and Ebonyi. Where did our votes come from? Where did our support in the zone come from? So anybody saying that it is a power tussle between Hope Uzodinma and the deputy speaker, The deputy speaker won the election by one local government, banned the local government. We are talking about a governor that won 27 local governments and that has been the pillar of support to the party in the Southeast zone. I know what goes on in the Southeast zone. I'm the chairman. So to say that there's no basis of comparison, there's no way they can have power tussle. It's not possible. Everybody knows that that the governor of Imo State is highly instrumental to the success of the party, even in the entire country. The National Working Committee of our party knows that. So I don't see how that power. If they sneak in name, for me, they misled the president. If the president is actually the one that signed that.
You said you have written letters.
If they sneak in them, they should go and sneak it out. They should go and sneak out those names they wrote.
All right. You said that you have written letters.
If the Senate president wants to discharge his chief of staff, he can find a better way to do so.
All right,
if
Dr. Ijoma, just hold on. I need to come in here.
And meanwhile, these guys are not members of our party.
All right.
They are not members of our party.
You've stated the point, but you have also stated that you have written letters. So we'll just see how that plays out. But I wanted to get to other issues. First of all, is the contribution of the Southeast to this presidency. What is the level of support in the Southeast for this administration?
Well, I have on these seats answered the issue of our voting pattern in the last election, which, like I said, the guy that played the goalkeeper in a match is as important as the striker, just as the defender is as important as the midfielder. The Southeast played its role, considering the circumstances that we faced during the election. We played very strong role to the emergence of this administration. But I'll tell you one thing for sure, take it to the books. With the leadership of Hope Uzodimma, if this type of interference does not continue, will give us massive support in the next coming elections, all the coming elections. He has given us a leadership direction, and we appreciate that. And we don't want to be distracted by some cocky fellows coming to destroy what we are building in the zone. We cannot. So those things should be discouraged. I am telling you for sure, with the leadership structure and direction that Hope Uzodimma has given to the party in the Southeast zone, and with what I'm doing, I believe that we are the major pillar to give us victory in 2027. Thank you.
And Dr. Ijoma, the idea was that previous administrations had not done so well, in the Southeast, and that there was this feeling of marginalization. Now there is a Southeast Development Commission. They've been, certain other things that have been done. How satisfied are those sentiments now being assuaged by this particular administration? How are the people feeling?
Well, we can't thank the president enough. We can't thank Bola Ahmed Tinubu enough, the Southeast. We are extremely, extremely grateful for him. Not just the Southeast Commission. A lot of things he's doing for the Southeast. A couple of days ago, we received the First Lady in Owerri. A lot of things the president has shown love to the Southeast. We are very grateful. We were rejoicing over the passing of the bill signed on the 17th of July for the Southeast Commission. Then, not too long, the president has released the list of the management and board, which means he's ready to give it a takeoff. But then, suddenly, a distraction came from nowhere. And my people are not happy. I will tell you that for free. My people are very unhappy. How can you consider that in Southeast, Ebonyi State and Imo State, that gave us the major support and that has given us the major support in the Southeast? If you're talking about good governance in the Southeast, you cannot stop talking about Hope Uzodimma. You cannot stop talking about what Dave Umahi started in Ebonyi and what Nwifuru is doing now. Then where are we coming from? That the two states are completely excluded and you think it can stand. It cannot, my bro, my sister. It cannot. We are very unhappy about that. We are pleading with the president and have written an official letter to him.
I have a few minutes left. I really do want to touch on a lot of issues. And the last one is the issue of the Anambra state governorship election coming up next year. INEC has now fixed November the 8th for that election as 2025. How well is your party preparing? There was this story about, the Anambra Leaders Forum, I think that's what they call them. I'm calling on your party, the APC, to consider Chukwuma Umioji as your standard bearer. How do you react to that?
I won't tell you that we are supporting any candidate for now. We are not. The party primary is still months ahead of us. All the aspirants are consulting. They come to me. They come to other leaders. I can't tell you that we have any candidate for the election. No, we have aspirants. Nobody has said we are giving too much. The death of Senator Ifeanyi Ubah was a very big blow for us because within a few months of joining our party, he became the face of the party in the state. And he has given it a big coloration with a lot of energy and resources. But we buried him a few weeks ago, I'm sure you know. Now, all the aspirants have been encouraged to consult and discuss. We have not figured out anybody. If anybody tells you that, he's not saying the truth. I'm the zonal chairman, and I know what is going on there. But I'll tell you something for sure, and you take home that we are determined to win Anambra State, to add Anambra State to our coffer. There are a lot of issues, this is what is happening now in Southeast Development Commission. These are part of the distractions that will affect our output.
I see that somehow, you are passionate about that issue.
I'm very emotional about it because I know how we suffer to get it. Now, about the Anambra
sorry, just
election,
a minute. I have a minute
left. We are
left.
determined for victory.
I have just a minute left. I wanted to ask you what lessons your party have learned from the 2021 governorship election, because you did not just lose that election. Your candidate, the candidacy of your standard bearer was also nullified by the Supreme Court.
Well, those are the things we are trying to avoid this time. That's why we want every candidate, every aspirant to be well accommodated in the scheme of things, so that we won't have such ugly incidents again.
Thank you so much for your time. We are following developments in the Southeast. We'll see how things play out. A pleasure to have you on. National Vice Chairman, All Progressives Congress in the Southeast Zone, Dr. Ijoma Ariodiobu.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right, that's our program today. Remember, you can watch a repeat broadcast at midnight and 6 a.m. On Tuesday morning. I am Precious Amai.